Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new stream. Today we're going to be flying in a very early morning, probably about 4 in the morning, Renton Municipal Airport in the great states of Washington, US of A. Anyone knows that Washington is home, of course, to Seattle, and that's where we are now. We're in Seattle, we're in Renton Municipal, and we're surrounded by many airports, notably SeaTac International, Bowen Field, and other things like Tacoma Narrows, Payne Field, Grays, you name it. It's one of those places. Seattle itself doesn't have that many airports. I mean, as a couple, but this actual area, I just call it Seattle because it's easier to remember. But it's divided into different sectors, so we're parked out here on the ramp, Citation X. And the intention is to do a few circuits. We're going to do a few circuits of Renton, and then I'm going to do a few tests, emergency procedures. So when I say emergency procedures, we're going to simulate an engine fire on approach, and that'll just be on the last one. So it's mostly just about circuits, and then we'll do the simulation of the engine fire on final. We're not actually going to cause an engine fire unless it happens naturally. So I'm just in the process now of getting the iOS filled out. I'm just looking at the fuel and things. So 262 fuel. Well, we've got quite a lot in there. And 2 passengers. Oh, block fuel, my mistake, is 1400. Good thing we've got like 3000. That's just under 1 hour and 40 minutes. That's probably how long we'll be flying, maybe a little bit less. Anyway, 2 passengers, that's just the pilots. For some reason they got 50 kg of baggage on board. And we need no other weights in there, about 209 on the payload. So that's good. Let's reduce that. Okay, let's hop into the aircraft. We do have a checklist, of course. Flight plan. I found the flight plan on SimBrief, and I'm now going to do it on VATSIM network. So I've never used a VATSIM on or in the States, so this will be interesting to witness it. And we're in the C750 today. As you can see, the right-hand side. You have a flight plan filed is November 75 X-ray Papa. Oh, I see. We've put the wrong call sign. We put Charlie at the beginning. I keep forgetting I'm in the States. November 750 X-ray Papa. Okay, so we are connected. Again, never been here before. We'll get on with the chat list, and then when the radios are on, we'll see if we can give them a call. Using the yokes, I'm hoping. I don't think it will. Obviously, the hydraulics aren't on, so nothing will move, even when the yoke's moving. And you'll see that the range there is not very much. Again, when the yokes are hydraulics are powered, they will move. So let's get rid of. It looks a bit new there with the wear and tear on the top of it. I haven't noticed it. Maybe they've added it in. Okay, let's get started. Work the mouse. It is very early morning as well, 4 o'clock, but the sun's just come up. So we're really in luck. And if you know Renton Municipal Airport, obviously a lot of GA aircraft are here, mostly GA, but of course home to Boeing as well, Boeing aircraft. And one of these things which I've never seen flown in real life or even in the game. But yeah, general aviation, Boeing Field, not Boeing Field, but Boeing aircraft, where they manufacture, I guess, and paint things. There's not any here today, I can't really see any. Just mostly small Cessnas and Barons. One thing you would never see on X-Plane actually is the Citation X. For some reason is never on a ramp at any airport, like even if it's a stationary vehicle. Let's just check the specifications and limits. Runway length 1600 meters and landing runway length 1000 meters. We are VFR today and it's good weather for it. Stall in the landing configuration, so that's quite handy to know. We might do a stall later on as well. About 115. Minimum controller speed 140. I'm assuming without flaps and things, so just full normal flight. Best angular climb to 270, best rated climb 300. I don't usually climb at that speed, that seems quite excessive, but that's what it's meant to be at. Besides, you can't do that below 10,000 feet anyway. Of course, there's the VMO to 8,000 feet, which is 270. I don't know how. That would be a breach of the rules, I guess. The laws. Then 8,000 feet and above. Maybe it's different for the Citation X because they know it's a fast jet. I'll have to do a bit more research into this. 2 feet, yeah, it's just normal reference. Hey, reference speed for landing there is 132, so we'll keep that in mind. Usually VREF is not the actual touchdown speed. You'll add 5 knots for wind. That's about 137.
Aircraft doors.
Okay.
Open.
Let's
Parking brake.
let's get rid of that woman's
Set.
voice because we don't need her.
Landing gear handle.
She can go away for a little bit. So batteries on. ICAS on. Refuel is needed. Check. Checking balance less than 200. Well, that's pretty quick. Standby power. Passengers onboarded. Yes. Battery switches 1 and 2 coming back on. Don't need external power. I don't know how to skip the list. I haven't really bothered to find out. ICAS, engine monitoring system. FedEx, reset the left. Oh, he wants fuel boost, sorry. And reset, and back to normal. You can hear the fuel boosts outside actually. Let me just go around. You can't hear so much in here, but in the cockpit you can 100% hear it. Nice and bright in the lights. Center wing transfers normal. Emergency lights on, armed. Instrument lights looking pretty good already. Passenger oxygen automatic. What temperature are we picking up here in Renton? So it's 20 degrees in Renton, not too bad. Because we're VFR, the only thing I put in the flight plan is for Tacoma Narrows. So we might do a few circuits here and simulate the engine fire, and then we might land at Tacoma just to make it a little bit different. Or we could fly over to Tacoma and do a few circuits as well. Again, it depends who's online and who wants to give us ATC, etc. So cycling, the parking brake, the hydraulics. Well, it's just me and the captain, co-pilot today. There's just 2 pilots on board, so that's all we need. We do need all the lights on though. Engine bleed air. Panel lights. APU master. I always forget that this plane needs the APU and a lot of smaller jets. I mean, the Citation's a medium-sized jet, but it still needs the APU. But again, a lot of smaller ones, like even the 560XL. The Citation 501, for example, the 525, both aircraft that don't really need an APU on. Okay, cover the cockpit packs. Now we're going to cool it down to an appropriate temperature. So I got used to it. Now that flown in the Cessna Citation, I'll be doing a lot in the Baron. Close the doors. At this point you're free to put the master switch on, or what you can do it when you put the batteries on. As you can see, the lights have in fact come on, which is fantastic. I think this is classed. I'm just going to show you my... Actually no, I'm not. I was going to show you my logbook. As you'll see, I have a lot of night hours recently. Okay, rotary test. Make sure you keep an eye out for the illuminations and cautions, etc. So there's a few in there that sound like the fire warning sounds very similar to the overspeed, but obviously you have the addition of the annunciation illumination. Nice solid stall warning at the beginning. Fantastic. Hydraulic pumps, we're going to retract those flats. PFD source, well, we'll leave it on navigation I didn't realise localizer warning VUR is on there. Hydraulic pumps off. We should have done them before. Lash navigation, so it's going to ask us to choose 180 for the flight level change, which is absolutely fine as long as we maintain below 250. I think we'll be good for the entirety of the flight. Jumper matrim, frequency set, standby. So I should take the time to learn. I don't know if that was already on. To learn the checklist off by heart. I probably will do, but it's quite a lot of items, and also, at least if you go through it in person, you don't risk missing anything. So transponder is set. Heading, right, runway. We do need ATC at this point. As you can see up there, we need to call them, but there's nobody online. We are connected to that sim. Seems like we've already got a person here. So use this instead. Although, actually, SimBrief may have given the runway for departures. It's saying runway 34. And then we're arriving at runway 34 at Renton. That's presuming we come back to this airport. We are going to be doing touch and goes at runway 34. So, yes, we're facing into the water. So this is a great airport because it's like right on the edge of the Boeing Tower there. A lot of Boeing things because it's near Boeing Field. But yeah, right near the lake. I'm assuming that is like a lake. Beautiful airport, by the way. Really well modelled by the X-Plane developers. One of my favourite airports, actually. It has a tricky approach if you're coming to runway 16. Obviously, you're coming over it on the water. And if you're coming from the other side, you have to come in quite steep. Because there's obviously these people there. There's a lot of houses. People live there. You've even got the sound barriers and the things at the end to stop the debris from the engines. Because there's road there, so you'll have to come down pretty steep to land. Anyway, 3-4, let's change the heading. Pretty much on parallel, perpendicular with it, so we'll keep it as it is. Altitude select. So we have it, it's coming up 9,500 feet. Maybe that's an automatic thing to make it like the minimal height. Our flight plan is 10,000. I don't think we need that for circuits. I honestly don't. So let's go ahead and be brave and put the circuit height down to about 3,500, 4,000 feet. We do need the QNH though, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we're in the States, so it's changed. Let's go down to our computer, PFD setup. Quite high pressure, 3007. And the same up here as well. I suppose if you don't know it, it'll give you the equivalent there. So it's about 1018, but I don't know. Do we need to change it? We got it up there, haven't we? So we can keep it in hectopascals. Nah, I don't want to betray the United States. So there we go. And we'll set it over this side as well. 3008. Strange, they use a different system, so when I look at those numbers, they mean practically nothing to me. I know they're a little bit high because every time it's over 300, I know it's high. Then MB there for ours is more recognisable. Minimums, barometric minimums. Okay, there's the minimum. Is that the minimums? No. That's the minimums. It always makes them up for some reason. So you want 1,000 feet above sea level. If you're wondering why that is, it's because we take off, and then when we reach minimum's takeoff height, meaning safe height, 1,000 feet, we're clear of things. Basically, we're clear of all the terrain and things. It's unlikely we'll come across any structures higher than that. Because it's a built-up area, of course. Right, lights, engines are about to be started, so. Although, to be fair, the cabin's still pretty warm. Cabin in the back's 16, but the cockpit's still 21 degrees. Oh well. Okay. Wait for 10%. Just lift it off of the cut-off position to introduce fuel. Bit quiet today on the engines. Can't hear a thing. Okay, we're not doing too bad on time, 90 minutes. I think we'll be out of here in the next 2 minutes. At least for taxiing. Just glad we got to catch the sunrise there at the beginning. We'll fly off into it. Okay, number 1 is started. Let's go for number 2. On the engine start, that is. Or number 1, depending what order you want to call it. Relatively quick. So at this point we could turn ground idle high on as well. For the first engine, but I'm going to wait for the second engine to reach 60%. And the extinguisher's gone off, so we can put it on to ground idle high. Okay, fuel page. Let's check. So we're doing well. Fuel flow is about 540 each. Check PSI on the hydroelectric page. Well, yes, the hydraulics a little bit off actually, but they're done. Engine bleed air low. Cabinet cockpit packs. Let's cool ourselves down because it's absolutely boiling. Okay, pressurization set, so we don't really need to change it. We're not going above, probably not going to go above 10,000 feet today. Heater and static heaters, heat switches, not heaters. Because it's 18 degrees, I'm a bit cautious about using these. Same as the window heat. It's really warm, we don't really need them. Only if it's like below 10 you would probably need them, and even then. You know, it depends how quick and how high you're climbing. So let's just do a bit of performance on the FMC. Let's load our position in there. And look at performance plan. Okay, we're going to climb pretty slow. We're going to climb about 210. It's going to be about 180, I think. Between 180 and 210, because that's what the vertical speed's at. And we'll cruise at 240. And we'll descend at 200. What's the initial height? So 4,000 feet. Transition level might be good. This is why ITC would have come in handy. I haven't flown in the States, so I don't know if it's busy. Probably no one online because they're all in bed still, which is completely understandable. We are going to copy that in. Try and get this performance in as well. As I said, we'll add Kilo Tango India whiskey in there, which is Tacoma Arrows. We will add it in there at some point. Okay, now we can do that, but we need to change. Okay, optimum cruise level. What we're gonna go? We're gonna go 9,000. No, our other one is 10,000 feet. So, and then 4,000 on that. I don't think that works, but it works. Right. Takeoff. Flaps, yes. Strange V speeds on there, but alright, take them. So it's pretty much ready to go. I'll just be back in a second, everybody. We are pretty much ready to taxi. Just take off flaps. And we'll trim as well. You can see the trim wheel doesn't move when you use your own yoke. No. In fact, it's only moves when you click it, and if you use the like an Xbox controller, will trim it. I was using an Xbox controller and it would trim it, would move it, but with the honeycomb, for some reason there's no animation. It's very peculiar. Let's be back in one sec. Oh, just grabbing my phone. If you do take notes on your pen and pad, I watch a real world pilot who gave advice to consider using your phone, so I have started doing it, and it's a lot quicker to put notes in. I do recommend it, but I also still recommend using a pen and paper as well, or even a pencil and paper would be better. So let's try the controls, ailerons, elevators, and is rudder working? Yeah, rudder is working, so the controls are working. Free movements, because we don't have our own pedals, it'll say it. Speed brake, Deployed and retracted. Absolutely fine. Taxi lights. Okay, we're pretty much ready to go. I really hope I haven't missed the ATC. There's literally nobody here. Oh, there's one other plane. One more check on my flight plan. I want to make sure I've filed this correctly. So yeah, VFR, Renton Municipal. I don't know how popular this is. Probably not as popular as my other flights, but I thought it'd be interesting to do. And interesting to learn about the aircraft a little bit more and the handling characteristics. Let's check the map, and I did figure out what was going on with the chart fox. So, for some reason it had unlinked my chart fox account. I don't know why. I didn't log out, but it had unlinked it, and I should have noticed that on the stream. I just didn't pay attention. Okay. Well, we got the airport. Hey, they got a lot of maps here. They got airport maps, arrivals. So you can go to Olympia. I recognise the airports. It's very nice. I love to fly around Seattle. This is one of my favourite places to fly. It's just because there's so many airports, and obviously it's great for GA aircraft, general aviation aircraft. So we're going to do standard circuits. I don't know what side it's on. Alternate minimums. Taking them. Let's just look at this a sec. Takeoff minimums, departure procedures, because it's the airport, like I said, it's over the water on one end and over the city on the other, so we're on VFR today. Maybe only applies to IFR. Let's not worry about this too much until ATC comes on. Well, we do need the airport chart. It even says there be alert to runway crossing clearances, read back of all runway holding instructions. I know at this airport you have a few run-up areas, so these little circles are run-up areas as well, I think, just near the beginning. So we're taxiing down to runway 34 right Alpha, holding point in Alpha 7. Renton Municipal traffic, November 750, X-ray Papa, taxiing to runway 34. Holding point Alpha 7 via Alpha. Nice little diagram that. You can see all the places where people park. Unfortunately, this was the only space, and we're on the map, really the only space we could park. So there's not many, because it's classed as the FBO, you see. There does seem to be a limousine there. That's very peculiar. I've literally seen the limousines a limited amount of time on this game. But fantastic, that must be the right place. Anyway, the only place we can park in, because it's suitable for VIP. So let's get going. We've declared our taxi. We'll leave the ground idle high for the taxi, and then we'll get down to the runway. Let's make sure clear left and clear right on taxiways. As you can see, quite far from the outer the taxi line there into the parking. We have the separation point as well. Okay, I'm going to just turn that ground idle high off, just because the brakes are going to get worn out pretty quickly from it. Having to constantly slow down because you're going too fast. Okay, let's do brake check, and we do a reverse check as well. So as I said on the stream where I reviewed the Oak, using the okay, the reverser should work. Ground idle's off. As I was saying on the aircraft, because we haven't got our own reverse button on the Yoke, we can't do it. Well, at least the reversers deploy. Just make sure they're in full idle on the throttles before you do so. A bit of lag there, a bit concerning. Stats are up on the top right. Not getting that many FPS here, to be honest, so I'm going to turn it off. GPU's not been getting used as much either, which is in contrast to when I first used it. When I first started playing X-Plane, it would use loads of GPU up. I don't know if like over time my computer just got used to it, so it's needing to use less resources, or unless they've changed something in the update. It's just peculiar. It used to run considerably higher than that actually, and I used to get about this in terms of FPS. But CPU's usually alright. That'll only be up to that about, as you can see, between 20 and 30, probably because I'm streaming as well. So that would take up computer resources. And here on the right, of course, all the airlines waiting to get painted or renovated, etc. We do have an assembly. Hey, we've got a nice jet back there. Never seen that before. Maybe that is a Citation. But yeah, there'll be assembly hangars back at the airport. I'll show you on the map. Got another aircraft over there. But over here, you can even see it AA for assemblies. Alpha assembly hangars for the Boeing and things. So when we depart, we may be able to see them on the right hand side. Same down here, more Boeing hangars. I think there's a private jet company here for real at the real airport. What a fantastic livery this plane has. Not used this one much, but it's incredible. Right, slightly over the taxi line there. Lovely to see two pilots in it. It'd be great if they would have added a few passengers. Go ahead and hold short. Parking brake. Strobes are coming on. I'm going to give them a call out. Taxi lights off, landing lights on. Transponder can go to... We can leave it on 1200 because we're only at VFR today. I think 1200 must be the US Surveys VFR squawk code. Parking brake, well, when we clear to run, enter the runway, just to keep a good visual out for other planes. Someone just spawned in there at SeaTac International. Super early, by the way, for the States. I don't know what time it is here, but in the... I think it did say 4 o'clock on the flight configuration, so let's just check that. About 5 to 5 in the morning. That must be Seattle time as well. Welcome to any American viewers. Yeah, about 10 to 6 in the morning in Seattle, so very early birds. Renton Municipal traffic, November 750, X-ray Papa, departing runway 34 for circuits. I think it'd be better to say VFR departure for circuits. We'll make, just to keep it away from Boeing Field, we're going to make right-hand traffic. Otherwise we'll have to make it a pretty short circuit, and the Citation is not exactly the smallest plane to manoeuvre, so we would end up coming up out here for the circuit. So we'll go on the right hand side to Whitewater Tower, which is probably the reference for the circuit actually, so we'll do that just to avoid the Boeing traffic field airspace as well, because we're in the Renton space at the moment. Right, on the taxiway, pedal brakes full press. Let's see what we're missing. Throttle levers. Okay, so we know all that, and then after landing, after takeoff checklist. So we're going to put full speed. We're going to reduce it pretty quickly, and we're going to level off about 4,000 feet. I haven't changed my course. There we go. Right, won't change the runway. Okay, full speed. It's quite a short runway this. Takeoff power set. Airspeed came alive quickly with 80 knots. V-speeds are programmed in. And V1 rotator. Okay, nice steep climb there. Let's get the gear up, please. A little bit informal today because there's only 2 of us and we don't have packs on board. We're going to reduce that down. We're going to climb straight up to 4,000, by the way. Try and decrease the speed about 210. We'll increase to 210. Flaps are coming up. Let's just reduce that throttle a little bit more. And slats. I'd be tempted to keep them there, but not today. It's giving us 180. We're going to take the right hand turn. Remember, this is a very, very fast and very big jet, everybody, for a medium-sized jet. It's going to be considerably harder on a large-sized jet. You probably won't be able to do a circuit like this. Well, you could, but it'd be a wide circuit. There we go, 1,000. So we're trying to decrease the throttle to correspond with how much we've got left to go. And it's the same in real life. You wouldn't go full speed up to 4,000 when you got to level off there, because it makes it extremely difficult. I mean, we're doing 30 degrees of bank pretty well though, and it's still hard to push that nose down. So let's maintain about there. We did well then to maintain 4,000 on heading. So check the map. We need to be downwind, so we need to turn to runway 16 for the heading, and we need to maintain probably less than 240. I think I've put 240 in, but I think just slightly less would be ideal. And there's the famous mountain in the distance. I want to fly to that as well on another stream. And there's 16. We're going to level off. I am looking at the heading indicator, by the way. That's what it's there for. I start to think the height may be a little bit too much. Right, we probably don't. I don't think we need the checklist. It's saying the above 10,000. The APU comes up. We're going to be below 10,000 the whole flight, so the APU is going to be staying on the whole flight, it seems. Anyway, there's Renton. So we're doing quite well in circuits. We came out to what I think is the waypoint for it. As you see, naturally very wide. We were slightly out from Maple Golf Course. We're going to do a downwind checks. Let's just stick our flaps to 5. And we'll start a slow descent. I'm going to skip the checklist. We know generally what's needed, and we don't need to change much. In general, we've had to leave the landing lights on and everything else as well. I'm going to just change this back to X-Pilot. X-Pilot's push to talk, just because that's what it was assigned for originally. Renton traffic, November 750, X-ray Papa is downwind, touch and go runway 34. Okay, we're slowing down. We should start descending towards it. We're going to make that right hand turn in a sec. As you can see though, all their houses and things. America's modelled pretty well, but then I guess when you get out of America you realise that it's all modelled the same pretty much everywhere. But America, of course, it suits, and over there's Bonefield. We have got a bit of overcast haze and things. Nice sunrise over there in the distance, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay, we've extended downwind, but that's fine. Running lights on, so fuel quantity is good, we don't have to worry about that. We've got flaps, we'll probably stick the gear down actually. How far are we from Renton? Let's put it on FMS. That gives us the distance from Renton. There we go. That's 30-degree bank there. Use the backup one, is a bit easier to see sometimes. Okay, base leg. We've got distance from the airport. No, it should come up with a distance at this point. Have we got an ILS as well? No, we don't. So Renton's quite unique. It doesn't have an ILS. Gears coming down anyway. Flaps to 15. Just gonna allow that nose to sink a little bit more. Is that the runway? I think that is the runway. Yeah, so not doing too bad. And when we do the go round, we're going to do the exact same thing again. Make right hand traffic at 4,000 feet. And full flaps. These speeds haven't been calculated. Could be a problem.
1,000.
Slow that descent. Let's give it 126. So if you remember that reference on that checklist, it said like 136 or something, or one. What did it? It said a lot more than that anyway. Yeah, 132. So probably about 137 for VREF. Although that's based on probably generic factors that we don't have programmed in at the moment. Plus we're very lightweight. Nice nose high approach. Amazing. You see, we're maintaining good speed, we're maintaining a good attitude, we're maintaining a very good approach at the moment. Just a little bit concerned about the speed because we're bleeding a little bit. Not gonna lie, we are bleeding. We're gonna use pitch to try and adjust for it. Thrust is enough, 57% and 1 sufficient to give us the power. And there we go. Just let that nose down a little bit. As you can see, the approach is very thin here. I thought it was steep, but it seems to be actually pretty low down. So obviously in Seattle they're not too concerned like they are in London City. Nice and steady. Remember, this is a touch and go, everybody. So even if you come in a little bit hot, we're going to be straight up in the air. So what we're going to do, we're going to put retract 1 notch of flaps after putting full thrust. We're only doing it slowly when we get to sufficient speed.
100.
Okay, we shouldn't idle the engines, but I have.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, there's the touchdown. Full thrust. Take off for a set. V1 rotate. Flaps to 15. Positive rate climb gear coming up. We need that full power for the go round. Flaps to 5. Don't retract them too quickly, you'll end up stalling. You'll end up way too slow as well. I'm going to extend the upwind base, upwind leg, and then we'll make the downwind. There is on the right, left. So Bowen Field. And then down there is Seattle. There's the big Seattle Tower. Okay, 1,000 feet to go. And flaps and slats retracted. Let's just rebuild up speed there. So height-wise, I think 4,000 was a good choice for altitude. We may have been better. If you're saying we may have been better at 3,000, we probably would have been too high, low, too low, unfortunately. So Let's take the landing lights off. We'll put them back on when we run downwind, just to make it a little bit more realistic. Yeah, a lot of mountains here, we'll fly. In fact, I'll do this and then we'll make for Tacoma Narrows and we'll do a touch and go there as well. I'm still debating whether we should finish at Renton or Tacoma Narrows. Both are very cool little airports. Both are suitable for small jets as well. Even for the Citation X, it's more than suitable for it. One 60. Yeah, so I think extending that upwind leg is definitely going to benefit us. Now we've got more time downwind to prepare and slow down, and we've extended we essentially extended the downwind leg the opposite direction, as you can see. It just makes it a little bit easier, so we'll probably come in a little bit short this time, so the final isn't as long. Trying to keep within the area. Don't want to divert too much. Okay, slats deployed. Let's get the slats out. Let's just start decreasing that speed to about 210. You use the map if you want. You can use the window as a reference. Completely up to you how you fly in this. It is a simulation after all. Renton Municipal Traffic, November 750 X-ray Papa for touch and go right traffic. Probably should have told them I was downwind. Okay, flaps 5. Let's start descending. Again, it's going to be a smaller circuit this. But it'll allow us that freedom. When we do depart, we're going to go straight up to 10,000 feet. Landing lights, and we'll select 10,000 feet. That's what we got programmed on our flight plan. And that'll give us the altitude there to clear Boeing and Seattle airspace just as we transition them. Probably don't transition them that high, but just sit until we get through them to Renton, Tacoma Narrows, excuse me. Okay, way too high up. That's nice. Let's see if this works out in the end. So gear down, flaps 15. Really handy if that give me a distance from the runway, but we're not got it programmed in. This may work out good actually. This may work out good. Maintain minimal speed on our thrust setting. Just means a very steep approach. Looks like we're going to miss it. Maybe that original circuit decision was the best. And rather than cutting that downwind short, as you can see, we've ended up off from the airport. Anyway, full flaps. Now, I'm not sure if the touch and go requires full flaps. Sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, I'm going to use them. Okay, pitching for that speed.
1,000.
Maintain about 1.3. Maintain about this. Descent rate's nice. Landing lights are on. Seatbelt signs, you don't need them. Fuel is good and gears down.
$500. $400.
We didn't program minimums in.
$300.
Nice approach, keep it steady.
$200.
See how low that approach is though, it's insane, but I suppose GA Airport isn't it, so Cessna's
$100.
not really these kind of jets.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
A little bit low there at the end. Okay, full thrust. Now we're going to depart straight up to 10,000 feet. V1 rotate. Very slowly. Very hard to pull back actually on the stick. Flaps to 15, positive rate climb, gear up. Full on climb now to flight level 100, and we're going to climb straight out. Renton Municipal here, and then we'll go slightly left down here, which is KTIW, which is Tacoma Narrows. I hope I put that correctly on the flight plan. Flaps 55. And we probably need the chat list as well. Set the autopilot on. Flight level change at 240. Can't change it. Oh well. Okay, flaps and slats retracted. Climb for a set. So barometric, we're actually on the takeoff barrows at the moment, which is good. We are doing a touch and goes after all. But if you change down here to radio, it'll go to 200, which is normal minimum height for most aircraft who have systems like that built in. Anyway, we don't need standard pressure, it's saying above 10,000 feet. I don't know what transition level is. Let me just check actually, we think the airport tells us. Well, it's high up. Transition level is 18,000 feet. So I guess we don't have to worry about that. There's 10, well we're at 10,000 feet already, we're going to reduce that power down, we don't go too fast. Okay, we don't need to change that. Above 10,000, we're at 10,000, it's still classing as above. Landing lights off. Seatbelt signs off. I'm going to fly over the centre of Seattle for you as well. So we'll go down Painfield and then we'll make a U-turn back up to Tacoma Narrows. But those circuits are not too bad. The first one was nice and tidy. The second one's a bit wide there, but tidied up in the end. So yeah, not bad at all. Can't really see much because the sun is looking generally pretty good though. Okay, you can turn the APU off, but we're at 10,000. We're going to be descending pretty quickly. There's probably no need to turn it off. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Just you'll turn it off and it's going to burn. The only thing to do is to just turn the bleed down, generator off, and leave the APU on. Because we're going to be below 10,000 soon. We're not going above 18. Cruise. Let's do half bank and throttles. It's required. So I got a parking brake. So we want to check the airport for KTIW. Tacoma Narrows, let's check what the QNH is. 3008. And changing on both sides because we have got a fictional co-pilot with us. In terms of approach charts, we have one airport chart, that's handy. So you can see how small the runway actually is, and the field. Not really one for commercial planes. No doubt that the smaller jets land there and the props and things, but it's not very popular with the airliners. I've never seen them here. They're probably there though. Okay, all the radios. I was hoping for the runway length. We want approach charts. So what we're probably going to be an ILS. I'm actually familiar with both these approaches. The RNAV approach in particular is really easy to understand. Yeah, it seems pretty normal. You're probably thinking, how do I know this? And if I say it's normal, I don't really know it. Well, I've flown it a few times. I mean, these waypoints, it's pretty much like a circuit there. RNAV runway 35 is similar as well. And then of course the ILS. Even easier, you got the frequencies. That's the Seattle DME marker. And the runway heading 167. 2,000 feet. Okay, no ATC. We'll wait till ATC comes online. I'm going to step away for the moment. We've got a tower on ground for something, I don't know what it is. KPDX, I don't know what that is either. So I'll be back in a minute. And when we go to the airport, we're going to do that, simulate the engine fire. I'll basically just turn the engine off and see how it goes. Okay, return. We're actually quite far out now, so let's do our U-turn. Where are we? We're going way past Plainfield, I think. Looking pretty good. We're going to make a U-turn, fly past the Seattle. Yeah, Plainfield's way down there, so the Citation X is really speeding through. Could always transition there level, and we got a lot of towers there. But a lot of numbers to call. Snohomish County. I learn something every day, so we'll do a U-turn. I can't remember what the name of that Seattle thing is, the big pointy tower. I'm really sorry if I've offended anybody. Of course, Kenmore Air Harbour down there. But yeah, really cool little thing. We're going to need to send down, just so we can keep an eye on the ground. We are VFR after all. I don't know what the state's rules are, but we'll assume it's the same as the UK, which is keeping an eye on the ground at all times. Let's go ahead and do that U-turn. We are on half banks, it's a very relaxed flight. I'm going to just slow down ever so slightly. Just below 300 knots. This is giving us, it seems like distances. But no distance there to KRNT, which I find peculiar. But we need Kilo Tango India Whiskey for the, of course, Renton Tacoma Narrows, and we're going to put in an approach this time because we will be practicing emergencies. Keep looking on there, trying to find the active runway. It will say it on here as well. You would think it would say the active runway, but maybe we've got a bit of discretion to choose. Runway 17. When we go back to Renton later on, it'll be a runway 34 again. Runway 17 at Tacoma. Right, wrong airport there. Just delete that and put Tacoma in. Right, finally. Runway 17. We've done a few circuits at Renton, so let's do an RNAV approach into 17. So I'm familiar with a Caro RNAV approach. We don't need a star procedure, we can add one in there, but as you can see there's nothing in there anyway. This I'm not too sure of. LPV, we can change it though. Activate and direct to Caro. So let's go and put LNAV on and we'll fly the RNAV approach. I think it's about 3,000 feet. Let's just check the charts. Oh, now runway 17 to Caro. We don't need to worry about this. So it's got its own Unicom at the airport. Aids information, of course. So we're going to come down Caro, which is here. Runway 17. Why am I feeling like that's not the best looking chart in the world? They could have connected up some more lines and things. Yeah, so we're going to have to go down and then make that U-turn to Caro and then back up there for runway 17. Although 17 will be in the direction we're heading. Right. We don't think we can go to Caro at this point. We might be able to skip it. I just think if we go to Caro, then it will just mean making a longer thing out of it. The half bank's coming off. We don't need it on. Okay. So Caro, 2,000 feet. Usually standard heights. The approach procedures. And does it have a speed limit? So I'm kind of learning this chart as well. I don't usually use charts for the United States. We just go at normal speeds below 250. You can see down here, Caro, the triangle out here. 2,000 feet. 2 nautical miles to runway 17. LNAV only, so you can't use VNAV. Or approach mode, I'm guessing. Because they won't be suitable for it. Yeah, familiar with that. And then we'll descend down. 167 for the heading. Very handy to know actually, 167. It's already tuned to it, 16. Yeah, I'm going to descend down. Initially to 3,000 feet. Sorry, initially to 4,000 feet. As you see, we're losing slightly. We are losing slight sight of the ground because of the haziness. Wow, look at that. They got their own beach here in Seattle. That's cool. Even took the time to model it. All the way up. They got some nice houses back there. Keeping my eye out for the tin of Seattle. Traffic over there onto the William Fairchild, and looks like they're in a classic aircraft. Seattle traffic, November 750 X-ray, Papa descending to flight level 4040. Trying to keep the people informed because there are other pilots in the area, so granted they're on the ground. This guy over here is not really moved. Oh, he's on the taxiway now. I was going to say he wasn't moving for ages. Dallas aircraft. And below 250, of course, below 10,000 feet. Okay, the stream's been going 1 hour 6 minutes. I only estimated 2 hours overall, but I think it's probably going to be a lot shorter than that. So I have put enough fuel in. Let's just check the quantity. ABU generator off. Yes, that's correct. We left the ABU running though. Actually, we need it on the descent. We do need it on below 10,000 feet. Let's get that back on. Fuel-wise, 4,840. So we've got enough in there. It'd be so much better if we had like one of these what's the ITT fan and then fuel next to it, but it's done it in numbers rather than like that, which would have been a lot easier to see. Okay, so flight time. Let's see how long. 32 minutes in the air. That's not too long. But the stream's obviously been an hour, so an hour, half an hour on the ground. Not too bad. We'll probably call it one touch and go here, and then we'll do a full stop back at Renton Municipal. Yeah, Carrow to the U-turn down. Let's go down 2,000 feet. I think we're probably going to miss. Oh, we're not going to miss the mountains. We're going to miss the. And we could change the lighting actually since it's daytime. Just give it a nice effect. Yeah, we're going to miss that pinnacle thing. I think it's like way over there. You're from Seattle, say hello. Magnuson, Kingston, all these places I've never been to. Apex Air Park down there, famous one. An hour and a half of fuel on board, so we really will have to call it quits. We'll do the emergency procedure and we'll simulate it. Shouldn't do it on VATSIM, but we're going to I know the procedures are quite basic, so obviously you would cut the fuel off to the engine that's affected. Obviously then you got to worry about rudder control and things. You would cut the fuel flow off here, so the centre wing transfers and the fuel boosts and the ignition probably. Generator could probably come off. Yes, it would come off. But in general, I don't think there's much to do for an engine fire. Maybe it would have to be on anyway. Well, we could turn the bleed air off from the affected engine, obviously, because it wouldn't be turning, and it would be bringing in a lot of rubbish from the fire. So engine bleed air could come off. We're actually really close to the airport. Now let's prepare to land. If we do need to go around, yeah, we're doing a touch and go anyway. Flaps, slats deployed. Taking us really wide out for this approach. Keep an eye out for them birds. I really hope we don't fly through any birds. We'd have a real emergency. Okay, it's starting to get foggy and misty over Seattle. Good sunrise though, very beautiful. You can see in the distance. We're just flying. Oh, wow, look at that view there. Incredible. Low terrain. We take a left hand turn. We may be too low down. Nice little lake there again. A lot of water in Seattle, so I'm sure they're not very thirsty. If we get terrain warning, I'll descend, but hopefully we'll make the turn before then. Or heck, could just route direct rather than go into Carroll, just go straight there. That'll save us doing it. You see the aircraft sluggish because it's going a little bit slow. We've not got the flaps, so let's go and put 5 flaps on before we stall. Double check our V speeds. 126 plus 5, so although VAP speed's a little bit different to VREF, obviously that VAP is plus 5, but I like to add another 5 on just because that seems too slow. See how it flies with one engine. So one isn't, I've not cut it off, I've just idled it, but it's probably going to need a lot of rudder pedal input there. Yeah, see the aileron's already clicking to the right, counteracting that yaw. It's maintaining speed pretty well. I don't know where that guy is. Delta something. Is he here? Oh, well, there he is. Delta Airlines. I thought it was I said something else. I think it said Dallas or something. Well, I don't know. It was a quick departure though. He's the SeaTac International. We're coming into Tacoma Narrows. So yeah, with one engine there, it's pretty good. You can't see much difference in performance. Seattle traffic, November 750, X-ray Papa is descending for the Arnav approach to runway 17 at Tacoma Narrows. Maintaining a very slow speed, I have to say, for this. Scenic though, very scenic. Time of the year as well to get out there. and do some flying. We're going to move slightly into the sun. I may set this as default view as well because it seems a little bit prettier on the left hand side than the right. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so just to tell you for this procedure, we're going to go through down, obviously standard RNAV approach to runway 17, and we're doing a go around. Cairo, we can hold at Cairo. I think we'll do that, and then should we hold at Cairo? I'm just thinking that'll give us time to program the FMC, and then we could go back to Renton for the full stop landing. Okay, so left engine's non-functional, fuel control is off, ignition's coming off, and bleed air's coming off as well. So all the things for the engines are cut off, fuel's cut off, fuel flow, transfer in the wings, fuel boost and ignitions, generators coming off. Don't worry about the warning, we've got the APU on. Bleed air's come off. I don't think there's much else we need to do. We do need to trim slightly to the right to the affected engine. I think that's how it works. You trim towards the affected engine. Or to the non-affected engine.
Is clear of runway 34 right. Transitioning to normie to the east. Passing through flight level 360.
Okay, well, so you can see all the warnings are popping up now. The engine's cut off. We're assuming we got fire, so technically we'd reverse. So I just realised we may be better doing a full stop here, taxiing back to the takeoff point, just so we can get our engine started. Because I don't think go around with an engine failed is a good idea. We're a proper checklist for this in real life, of course. I'm a little bit concerned about taking manual control because obviously the yoke has not got built-in rudders. Right. Fantastic. Are we turning final? Just about. Flaps 15. Let's see if we can handle this. So we're way off. Oh no, we're not. Oh, I thought it was way off then. Speed's low, yeah, so it's really struggling with that one engine being functional. I honestly can't remember if I trim it to the right or left. Tacoma Narrows traffic, November 750 X-ray Papa, final runway 17, full stop landing. Nice little flight though around Seattle. Shame we didn't see much, we may see it on the way back. Still a lot of left aileron in there, let's change it back the other way, let's see if that'll help. No, it's made it worse. So obviously to the right, to the effect to the one working engine, and that will quite a lot of rudder input by the way, and that will stop. Oh, I can't even think of the word. That will stop the yaw. A lot of drag though from this stuff. We're really pushing it in terms of airspeed. Like 70% N1 on that functional engine. If I disable autopilot now, let's see if we can handle it. Okay, it's handling pretty well. Thank God we put the yaw trim in. Yaw damper could come off. We'll make our way to the runway. Full flaps. Although I'm hesitant to do that with an engine failed. Yeah, so the drag is too much, and we're actually really slow. I'm having to put so much force into that yoke to move it. Vertically, that is. Horizontally is not too bad. It's sluggish, don't get me wrong, as you can see I'm turning it. Controls are sluggish because the airspeed's low. If we do stall, we're going to be screwed, we are going to crash. Let's make a little bit of a risk move, let's just push that up. Just ever so slightly. As you can see, they really need a lot of aileron and rudder there to counteract the pull. Lower that nose ever so slightly as well. God, look at that trim. Trim's just fully nose up. So reverse thrusters are stowed. Fuel is cut off to the affected engines. Transfer is off. Bleed air is off. I wonder if we should put the bleed air high for the remaining engine. No, we got the APU on, I think we'll be fine. There's the outer marker. Great to pick that up. And we're about established. We're maintaining a really, really slow, steady descent rate. Holy smokes. Look at that. Really kicking off some condensation from the engine. Oh, blimey. Beautiful though, it looks so beautiful in the sunrise there, doesn't it? It just looks incredible. By the way, everyone, don't practice this in a real jet if you can help it. Not with this kind of an attitude. If we end up stalling, we're way off track. You can start descending a little bit, just be really cautious now with the thrust settings in the control columns. I'm going to keep it on, visible, for landing, so you can just see how much has been put in there to control the roll, plus all of that rudder trim input as well. There we go.
$1,000.
1,000 feet. Have we got minimums on? No, we haven't. For some reason it's gone off. Radio minimums. We're actually doing pretty good. Once you get stable control of the aircraft, when you pick up a bit of airspeed, you'll get that aileron control back, which is fantastic. Obviously, you want to reduce that. The thrust as well. The thrust will stop the yaw. Remember, whichever your engine is powered, you'll be yawing towards that. It's towards the right hand side.
400.
Now we're not going to use reversers, we're going to keep them stowed. We may pull the buckets out actually, but we won't put any power into them. We'll use braking and spoilers. Looking pretty good, a little bit low. Minimums, well, we've got no choice but to continue.
100.
Really slow on the airspeed.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, I think we bounced. Oh my goodness. I think we bounced. Oh my, wow. Echoes all over the place. We really came in there with a high nose attitude, so we're going to have to get some maintenance done. We didn't even have time to put the buckets out. God, that was bad, wasn't it? Right, let's taxi to the end. Flaps are coming up. Strobes off. Text lights on. We didn't have landing lights on, but that's fine. And ground idle high, just because we've got one engine. So yeah, that was an awful landing. Circle back round to Tacoma Narrows, and we taxi to runway 317 again. As you can tell, it's the exact same, pretty much the exact same direction as we took off from in Renton Municipal. Flight plans have vanished. We'll clear the runway. We're going to do the start up for the left engine and get it started again. Yeah, there's hardly anyone here. There's a few planes, but not much. Right, we do need to find a space. I should use my built-in map. Let's do that. Let's go for the Tacoma Narrows and airports, so we can see where we want to park, just temporarily at least. Maintenance might be a good idea to look at that and get landing gear. Although jets in general and planes can handle quite a rough landing before they collapse or even burst tyres. So when I see add-ons that have burst tyres and collapsed landing gear after even the slightest touchdown, I often wonder where they got the data from, because the hydraulics and the suspension in planes are very, very powerful. Let's taxi down to the FBO. Get the fuel cut off. Remember, we're simulating at least trying to simulate the engine fire procedure for the engine. Maintenance would be needed at this point. So US Customs, don't need that. Down Alpha. So that's Bravo 4 hangars over there. We'll taxi down to, I think it is going to be the admin and US Customs place. If we go back, we can look at departures as well. That'll be how we depart in the airport. There is one departure. It doesn't seem to apply to us. Sit on standby. Now I don't want to shut down. What we do want is we want to go back to startup procedures. Engine start. So we'll do that for the left engine. We'll get that restarted just before we taxi back out. I don't know if we need to refill. I don't think we do. It's a relatively short hop back to Renton Municipal. I am going to watch that replay very briefly. Not a good landing, everybody. Not a good landing. This is like smaller jets there. Let's take the right hand side. Let's park right outside the tower. Nice little hangar though, like almost like a World War II style hangar. Okay. Take it over to the FBO. Not our FBO, by the way. This will just be someone who provides maintenance for the Citation. It's going to get a lot of money for this inspection, and hopefully there's no damage. Otherwise we'll have to fork out for that as well. Okay. Parking brake. Sets. Cabin and cockpit packs. Remember, we're starting up the engine. Let's just check a look outside. As you can see, that thing's putting out a lot of steam there. It's not very hot. It's only 15 degrees. I suppose window heats and piezo heats could come on at this point. Maybe it's because we turned the we didn't turn the cockpit bleed air thing to high. Maybe that's why. That's very, very odd. Anyway, ground idle's coming off. You don't want it high while the engine's starting, just in case. Taxi lights off. Let's have a breather, everybody. Let's just take a breather from that. And let the Citation just cool down. Let me just cut that engine off. Let's just get transfers and fuel boost back on. Ignition back to normal. We won't, if I would turn the ignition off. Let's put our plan in. So just a very short break, and then we'll continue back KRNT to Renton Municipal. A narrow one departure's come up as well. Yeah, so it's going in the circuit. So that chart was actually right. So about 1,500 feet. We'll only get up to 2,000 feet. And then we'll come in for the arrival to runway 34 on of approach. Fantastic. Okay, quick breather, everybody. Just get a drink. Just have a moment. Aircraft's looking solid though. iOS hasn't showed any damage. Fuel's pretty good still. Yeah, so no damage from the hard landing. Sorry, but I keep changing my mind. But we're going to do a quick replay as well. Fuel get that vacuum thing off. So as you can see, we're coming in relatively nose high there. Oh man, I'm going to step away for a sec to enjoy the replay, and I'll be back when the replay is over. Alrighty, let's get on to Renton Municipal, final stop from Tacoma Narrow. It's been great flying here this morning. Well, this afternoon for me, GMT, but this morning in Seattle local time. It's really been fun. We're going to reconnect back to Vatsium, just for courtesy purposes. I don't think anyone will be online anyway. So let's get on with that. Let's just get all the things turned off that we had turned off. So generator come back on. And engine starts. Let's do the engine start for the left side. Oh, the fuel, yes, the fuel is cut off. So nothing is happening. We got it all on. Right starter, ignition, that would help. Let's get the ignition on. Kick those engines back into gear. Pitot heat can come on now, it's below 15 degrees. Just about, so temperature's dropped quite considerably. The oil damper on, of course. Yeah, successful start there on number 1. But and number 1 wasn't really an issue, to be honest. It was just the left engine which we cut off there for the engine fire procedures. Pretty typical. Pretty typical actually for most aircraft to cut the fuel off. Okay, great. Left engine. Really rapid deployment there. And if we had actually had an engine fire, by the way, you will have to act pretty quick to hit that extinguish button to prevent it spreading and getting any worse, of course. So trim, let's put the neutral trim back, otherwise we'll have too much rudder and to yaw to the right. Let's neutralise that. I think there's a way to do that, centralise it, but I can't remember. Anyway, it's centralised as much as it can be, 60%. Cabin packs coming back on. Pressurisation, check, so pitos both on, flaps. What was happening with the engine there? No idea, but a lot of that stuff coming out of it anyway, a lot of condensation. I don't know if that is condensation, I don't know what it is. We didn't have it on departure. The temperature was pretty warm at departure, 20 degrees. It's 15 now, so maybe that was a bit of fog and low pressure moving in. Doors closed, let's close them. Flaps 15 and we'll trim. So 2,000 feet, we're not going high at all. LNAV and VNAV, so VNAVs are not coming on. Performance cruise. What have we got in here? Let's see. Enable cruise altitude, well it'll have to, I'm telling it to do it. So it's changed my speeds there to climb 250, cruise 250. That's interesting. So it must be like the bare minimum required. Well, like I say, we'll have to do that cruise altitude, but it won't. It's a pain in the ass, isn't it? I don't know why it won't do that. So that means we can't calculate passenger weight to let's say 340 pounds. I suppose we could go performance takeoff and do it like that. That's kind of bypassing it and get the V speeds that way. So about 190 climb out speed. Let's set it on the flight level change, 190, not 180, and hopefully maintain that up to about 2,000 feet. Right, ready to taxi again. So flight controls, ailerons, elevators and rudder, yokes, aileron trim is neutral, rudder trim is neutral. One more check so it registers the control. Speed brake, we didn't deploy him. To be fair, when I watched that replay back just then, I'm sure you'll agree with me, that was very, very bad. The reason is simple, we came in, our attitude was too high, our speed was too low, so we ended up pitching up too much on our wheel. We simply bounced because we were too slow at the end. If you were a bit faster, you could go in a bit of a flatter angle and reduce that impact. Takes lights. Let's get going. Alright, 1.7, and we want the charts. Airports. Get a bit down. Alpha, yeah, I was just going to say Alpha's usually where it starts at taxiways. So runway 17 via Alpha, and we need the departure as well. Turn narrows 1. So as you can see, we're going to be departing not the full length, but yeah. It gives us a frequency there. McCord Airport, of course, Olympia. The DME markers there. Climb runway heading until leaving 1,500 feet, then turn right heading 250. Okay, let's set 250 into the heading. This is actually quite interesting. 250. Expect filed altitude 5 minutes after departure. Expect radar vectors to assigned route. Well, we're going to go straight up to 2,000, which is, it even says it there, maintain 2,000. So we know when we get up to 15 feet, we'll be making that right-hand turn. It's, we are taking up runway 17, aren't we? Wonder why it's coming up. So, because we've gone from runway 17 to our next waypoint, it's bypassing that right-hand turn and it's just going straight to the next waypoint. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. when we're in the air. Really, we should follow this, take the right hand turn, and then go to the next waypoint, but it's not put it in as I thought it would. Oh well. We don't need any of the frequencies off there. Seattle, we could tune Seattle in there, I guess. 116.8, just for a bit of fun. How do we do this? 116.8. And it should pop up down there, yeah, so it's popped up. Right, let's turn that off. I never use the second one. VOR DME for Seattle, let's leave that on. Has, no it hasn't. I checked Renton Municipal, there's not really much there to be honest. No ILS, no nothing. Parking rate released, ground idle high. Hope if the engines work, let's go. And we still cockpit packs on, yeah, cockpit. It's nice and cool now in the cockpit, everyone. 16 degrees, and cabin we don't have to be too concerned about, but about 15 degrees there as well. So thank you to the maintenance guys there at the airport for giving our aircraft a quick inspection after that rough landing. It was a rough landing. Interior lights gone off because it's daytime. Fantastic. Tacoma Narrows, November 750 X-ray Papa, taxi into runway 17 via Alpha. Yeah, there's one other plane there. He's and there's someone spawning at Seattle International, SeaTac International. Okay, we're minimums. We haven't set minimums again. We'll have to change it. The altitude's slightly higher. So 3008. 1,000 feet above. At 1,200 feet. It's quite a lot. That's interesting. The co-pilot side doesn't actually show it. So they have to tune that separately if you're in a shared cockpit. It won't be synced together. Still don't know how to do the shared cockpit. I would love to hear from someone who does. As far as I can tell though, it's not like Microsoft. They don't really have the option on here. So yeah, if we're landing runway 17 at or 15 at Renton, we'd be coming over the water, which would be a super challenge. Holding short. Parking brake set. Okay, strobe lights back on. Landing lights, taxi lights. You notice we didn't use the engine sync then because we didn't really go up to 10. We didn't go above 10,000 feet. We didn't need it. And also we ended up failing one and deliberately said don't want engine sync on for that. Alternates, altitude on the transponder, parking brake released. It's coming out as traffic November 750 X-ray Papa, departing runway 17 for Tacoma for Renton Municipal. I don't really know what to call out in this situation. There's nobody, not really anybody available. So transponder, parking brakes, pedals, lights, flaps. Quick check to the right, so all clear. Lovely approach though into the airport over those trees as well, and a nice little area where people live, of course. So runway 17, rarely take off from the 17. They've got plenty in the States. Okay, fully press the pedal brakes and 1 to 40%. Keep a close eye on the engines because we've fuel boost out because the APU's on. Yeah, because we've been burning a lot of fuel and burning a few resources in these procedures. Double check the V speeds actually before we get going. 139. Okay, that's fine. 139 is what we're looking for. Takeoff thrusts. Set. This speed alive. 80 knots. Really quick departure here from Tacoma. Super bumpy runway V1 blow Tata. And a steady climb to 2,000 feet. We're going to reduce it pretty quickly to climb. Positive rate climb, gear up. Yeah, very slow ascent because we're not going very high. Once we get to 1,500 feet, we'll make that left hand turn. Just follow the procedure that it gave us for the departure. So there's minimums. Now we're safe to do that turn, 1,500 feet. Oh, we're only going to 2,000, aren't we? I've completely forgot. So that's why the workload is super high when you're at a low cruise altitude.
Bank angle.
You got a lot of things to do. You've obviously got to fly the plane. I mean, we've already overshot 2,000 feet. Flaps up. Beautiful looking trees and neighbourhoods and city down there in Tacoma Narrows indeed. Slightly higher than I was expecting. Autopilot on. This will allow the plane to just fly. I mean, look how low down we are, so I was a little bit tempted to go for 3,000 or 4,000 feet again. Still above minimums. Flaps and retracted. Vertical navigation mode is selected. Can't select it because obviously the VNAV has not been programmed. Throttle lever, we don't need it on climb, we're going pretty fast already. Cabin pressurization, not kept an eye on it, but it won't usually pressurize below this altitude. We could always select, manual and change it that way. Somehow. Let's just keep cabin dump on. Timothy Barrow, we don't need to change it. We are going to do something different. We've got minimums on at the moment. I guess we'll leave it until we're landing. I was going to say I'd do it different and put it onto the landing minimums now. We are VFR, so we technically shouldn't be flying into too much crappy weather. Super quick approach though into the airport. I mean, pretty much straight into base leg. Let's get set up for landing already. So let's get send checklist and keep an eye on the map. Yeah, super quick there back to Renton Municipal. Renton Municipal traffic, November 750 X-ray Papa is 2,000 feet, coming in for the approach runway 36, currently on base leg. A lot of waffling there in that ATC announcement, my apologies. 8.5 nautical miles to Zulad. And returning final. I'm going to let the plane fly itself a little bit more than I was doing before. So altitude, select cleared, will remain at 2,000 feet for now. We don't need VNAV on at the moment. We don't need any of that on. APU's on, APU start. That should be on already, I wonder why it's not, yeah, there we go, landing lights still on. Seatbelt signs, Q&H. Where's the Q&H for the airport? 3008. Pretty much pre-programmed that in. And of course we get radio barometric minimums. So radio minimums for approach, barometric for departure. Just absolutely stunning, isn't it, this game? It's not even a game, this really is a proper simulation, especially with the checklists. They can download for free, by the way. It really is incredible. I mean, I love these like angles you can get and the quality of the aircraft physics. They really put a good amount of time and effort into it. Okay, slats and flaps. 5. We're going to slow down to about 210. Let's see if we can put the speed in. Nope. 210. Do need to slow down though quite rapidly. Autopilot approach mode. Unfortunately, we don't have any approaches here, and it's a shame because it's such a great airport as well. But it's all hand-flown approaches into the airport. They do have well, I guess they have an RNAV approach. That's something we could have considered. But even then, we're kind of on the RNAV now for runway 34. That's kind of what we're doing for the Festler, sorry, which is yeah, on the map. Festler's where we're headed, so we're pretty much doing the RNAV. We're into runway 34 with 2,000 feet. Yeah, about 2,200 to 4,000. So I was right, and I did 4,000 for the circuits. Again, it was just a guess, but it worked out correct height there for it anyway. Not really any limits on the speeds, it's just common sense speed. I'll probably do 190 at the max. Missed approach, so we'll go back up to 3,000 feet. Go up to Seki and hold if we need to. Yeah, very cool RNAV approach. They're very simple as well. We're coming in from this angle. 1,600 feet. As you can see there after Zulad. Festler 1,600 feet. Let's do that. Yeah, it makes sense. Coming in at 2,200 and down to 1,600, and then of course on final. Okay, approach. Fuel quantity is good. We don't need fuel gear down just yet. We do need to slow down rapidly though. And I'm taking control. Since we're way too close to the airport. I thought the final was going to be considerably longer than that. Short final here at Renton Municipal. Renton Municipal traffic, November 750 X-ray Papa is final, runway 34 for a full stop landing. Full flaps, super quick. It looks super close as well, but we still got a good 2 nautical miles till we get there.
1,000.
Burn off some of that height as well with this. Wonder if we select approach. Well, I suppose it is giving us an approach option there, but I don't think the airport has one here. No, it's coming up to the wrong place. Let's keep FMS on.
500.
Remember, we're trying to keep a relatively flat angle of attack for the landing. Sloppy there on the controls. Very sloppy indeed. Feel like I'm flying a snail, everybody. Full flaps. We don't need the checklist at this point. We are going to use full thrust because it's such a short runway. There's the speed, sound barriers, whatever you want to call them. Debris barriers to protect the citizens and the people going past. The jet blast. There we go. Nice smooth touchdown into Renton. Okay. Spoilers. Reverses. very powerful aircraft this. So there's 80 knots. And 60 knots. Probably turn the reversers off at this point. Leave the buckets out until we get to the end of the runway, then we'll taxi. I'll take you to the end so you can see what the airport looks like. Or heck, we could even take a right and turn to the Boeing ramp. Let's do that, let's taxi to Boeing ramp. Yes, look, it is like London City, of course. Obviously got the water approach to runway 16. And then you have this stretch of water here next to the runway, which I always find very, very peculiar, but super cool though. Super, super cool. Okay. Yeah, so you come in there too low and you're going to be screwed basically. And if you obviously land on the taxiway as well, even this taxiway is very thin, right on the water. So it's, imagine that at night, it's super hard to land on. Responder to standby. Just about fit down the taxiway there. Let's just hold short. Flaps up. Takes the lights. Landing lights off. Oh man, I would recommend it to anybody who wants a challenging approach, especially at night. Runway 16 at Renton, you've got the stretch of water here like London City, of course the water approach. Fairly low approach actually from the runway 34 is it? Yeah, but runway 16 is not too bad. A little bit steeper I think, so you'll get a little bit more of a view of the city and things. Well, this taxi to parking, we've done pretty well. We haven't needed to refuel. We've still got £3,500 of fuel in each engine. So at least an hour left. And this is where Boeing is, where Boeing gets painted. You got plain Southwest back there, but you'll see them here where they look blue and they look steel, because they've been either renovated and repainted or something else. Unfortunately, there's no examples of it here at the moment. Yeah, massive hangars. All the engineers and the mechanics do their work, and the designers, etc. The lawyers. We're going to hop to this stand here, just next to Southwest, or we could continue round, actually, right round. I didn't realise how big this airport was. Right round there to what looks like an empty ramp. Again, it's not suitable for a citation, because this is Boeing territory right now. I think they own the airport as well. It wouldn't surprise me. Very scenic route, very scenic. Let's take the end space, nobody around here. And we'll go right to the end. He's Southwest on his own. Space on the right, it's a couple of spaces. I'll take this one on the far left. You see there, straight into the hangars. I'm surprised they've not got the hangars open today. That's where we go. So shutdown checklist can be completed. Parking brake. Come on, parking brake. Yeah, he's taxiing straight into the hangar there for assembly or something else. Being pulled out, ready to taxi for takeoff. And space in there on the sides. So yeah, I've seen the pictures in real life. If you've seen the real pictures, you'll see that this is where the assembly takes place from the line assembly. That is probably taxi lights off, parking brakes set, throttles. It's been a great flight though. How long have we been flying? So flight time, we've been about 56 air time, 56 minutes, giving us about 2 hours in the stream, which is fantastic. That's how much I estimated. I hope you've enjoyed this. I don't think it's been as popular as other streams. Maybe, I don't know why, it just seems like nobody was interested in this one at all. It was open to the public, so I think it was open to the public. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. It was on the YouTube channel. Let me just check. Actually, I really hope I haven't screwed myself over with this. Oh well, you can always watch it on catch up. So on channel, we should be streaming. We are streaming to YouTube. And also, it probably wouldn't say live unless it was streaming to YouTube. So yeah. Oh well. Maybe I wasn't streaming. Apologies. You can always watch it on catch up. Maybe that's a good thing to do. Just do streams on my own and then let people watch it afterwards. Okay. Recognition lights. It's still a very enjoyable flight in Seattle here. Aircraft doors. Let's crack them open. APU. Okay, we're doing a full shutdown. APU bleed air. Generators. APU master off. Your damper should be off before landing. We'll turn mic trim off as well. Let's disconnect from that sim. Pretty much already disconnected because the radios aren't going to function. Below 10%, APU master switch off. Engine bleed air coming off. Cockpit and cockpit packs. Nerves, tail lights, recognition lights, window heats. Packs oxygen going back up as well. So a lot of stuff to do here. I mean, I could leave them on, I guess. Maybe let people get off with the lights on. Standby power, center wing transfers. Off. Fuel boosts. They don't usually turn the ignition off in this, but maybe it's worth just turning them off. Suppose you want it. I don't know. Maybe you have to a bit of a leeway there. I suppose turning it off would make sense to save it kicking in straight away when you turn it back on. Battery switches. This is the final shutdown. And that's it. Checklist is officially complete. So we did a full checklisted flight. Seattle, Renton Municipal. Fantastic looking at it. It really is a fantastic airport. One of the best. Of course, we flew around, did a few circuits. Did the emergency landing. And then to Tacoma and then flew back. Appreciate everyone being here. If you haven't been able to see the stream because it's been hidden, please watch this on catch up. Let me know what you thought, or let me know if you couldn't see it in the first place. It should have been streaming directly to YouTube without any issues. So see you on the next one, and all the best till either tomorrow or Wednesday, and we'll hop back in one of the bigger jets. Okay, take care.